Hi everyone, welcome to Dave's Bonsai. On today's episode, the white paper forest needs a little trim. Welcome everyone to the backyard of Dave's Bonsai. The sun is out. The rain is done for today. Actually, it stopped late last night. The rain keeps coming and going and coming. Up near Duluth, Minnesota last night, over 7.3 inches of rain in a couple areas up northeast Minnesota. I haven't watered the trees with the hose in over a week because it's been at least every other day, and then when the days that it's not raining, they're not drying out that much. A little bit of heat we've had, and I've protected those with some sprinkles of water, but it's been a very easy job taking care of bonsai this year with a lot of rainwater. We've got the forest, a couple issues to take care of. Let's get closer and start our work. Unfortunately, this spring I discovered the back tree, which is so covered by new growth you can't see it, but the back tree did perish. It did die of the original clump of 4. And this guy right here, no branches except for that one. Now I accidentally cut off the biggest branch on here of the ones that are here, but it is still alive, feeding from right here. And there's even a couple of extra branches trying to grow down here at the armpit area of this branch. And so this is still alive, and this is the one with the most white. We're a year or two away from this being pretty solid white. And so we'll maybe chop this guy down a little bit further, and all these leaves hopefully will cover that up in time, or we'll just get rid of that tree in the design at some point. But we're going to clean up the maple forest a little bit, clean up some of these suckers, and see what we got. Let's start with the maples. We've just got a lot of massive growth. So we're going to go ahead and just cut these back to 2 internodes at first. A lot of thick growth. And now we have miniaturized this tree. We've compacted it. There's 2 buds on every branch remaining. We'll just let this push out another set of growth this rest of the summer, and then we'll see. We've got a nice branch back there growing, but that goes inside, covers up this tree, so we might not keep that long term, but for right now we will keep it. There's also a beautiful branch back here. That one we want to survive. And so we also could just get rid of some of the inward growing leaves and just thin this out just a little bit. This one going towards the other trees, this one's kind of long. And so we just loosen that up, let a little bit of sun get in there, and you can see the glory of the back 2 trees. Now this back tree is growing tall and slingshot-like in 2 different directions because it just doesn't get a lot of light back there. So we're going to cut back, I think, well, to 2 for right now. And then there's a new growth right here at the base of this one, right here. There's a little growth right there, and there's a growth down there. So we could cut down this further, and we will cut this further because of this guy right here. We'll let this be the new apex of this tree to come up right over in this area right here. So we'll cut this back pretty heavy, cut the nub off, and we'll cut this one back 1 more too. That tree's a little bit more incidental. We wanted 3 in here instead of a pair, but that one may have to go someday just because these might just get so big. Super nice and thick. No, this trunk is doing pretty well. And then in the back, about halfway up the tree back here. And again, it's not getting much light, so they're weaker growth, and it just doesn't get as much light. So by cutting some of this, we hopefully can get more light back there as well. And we'll see what happens with that guy back there. Now it's super tall, and it's got some growth up here, so really we're just going to cut the tips off of this guy. A nice split into 2 on this guy. That'll split into 4 next. And they're going to grow taller again this year a little bit, and of course next year. Keep getting thicker trunks, but we'll focus on tall and maybe even bring up the branching a little bit. So then we have the main part of this. If we take this off next spring, the possibilities to take this off and reposition it a little bit with the depth we had and maybe clean it out and re-put it on the slab, that might be a spring project. So we'll probably have to take this guy off. There's still live tissue in there. There's some cambium, it's alive. And there we go. The tree in the back is not getting much light either. So it's got some long, leggy growth. I don't want to get rid of branches at this stage quite yet, but there are some thin ones here that we can go ahead and chop right out. And then we'll just leave the top alone. I don't really want to mess with the top. I want that to shoot out full growth this year, and we'll prune that in the fall. So we're just trying to be able to see the inside of this tree a little bit better. All right, we've trimmed up the bottom. We can see the trees, the trunks, can see these a little bit better. We've got this cluster of white paper, birch, and maple. We're just gonna leave that and call it a day. Super quick, short and sweet. Part 2 of today has to do with the Amur Maple, collected one from my buddy Steve's former client. And this is the big monster one. And we have a lot more dead wood on this one. The bottom still grows out suckers. And after doing some cleaning up around the base of this tree with all kinds of weeds, we've got a maple tree that started to grow in here, so that's alive. We'll just keep it in there. But we have a lot of suckers this year. I have 2 suckers right on the outside of this tree that want to become new trees. And then in the back, which of course you cannot see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 suckers trying to put out new growth on this Amur Maple. So I'm going to keep all those this year and see what they do next year. Because if some of this master original trunks are going to die away, I want to know if I'm going to have some new trees that are growing in place. But I do want to thin it out just a little bit because it is super thick. So we're going to cut some things back. We've got a big branch coming out here, super wide from a trunk that's close to another branch right here that's kind of in the front. But again, we may twist this thing when it becomes into a pot, so we just don't know what's going to be front material. So we're just going to go ahead, we're going to cut those 2 big leads off, this guy right here, and then we'll cut this one back to here as well. This has got some branching that's coming out as well. So we're just going to shorten up some of this stuff. I'm going to leave one of these 2 suckers, but they're growing so close to each other. I don't think I want both, although it would be a good twin trunk if they both survive. Let's leave it there for now. Let's leave it there for now. And then again, we're just going to do some late spring as summer is ready to tick in, pruning on all the height of this massive Amur Maple. These Amur Maples, they consider them invasive now. Don't even know how many they're selling in the nurseries these days. They do grow ferociously. So you can get over pencil thick growth in one season. So we just brought everything down to size. And then we're going to let the suckers grow on the outside. We've got some other internal growth here that I'm just going to cut back. You know, little things like that. And it's hard to see with all my big succulent here. There's the front. This one died this year. There's no growth on that one at all. It has a hollow in there. We might be able to just cut this off with a saw down here and kind of zigzag this trunk like it's a big old stump. We can do that later on this fall. This one is really robust. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 main branches on here, so doing really, really well. A couple more internal branches that I'm going to clean up. But again, we have 2 suckers here. We have a sucker in the back, and then 2 out here. So we have 5 new trees growing on this big cluster, so this is truly going to be a big clump style. And we're just going to keep seeing what's going to survive long term. This pot is so heavy that I can't twist it around for you. So we'll get it moved with some work again, possibly next spring. A couple of roots that are exposed on here that just died off. Cut those back as well. So as I come back on this one as well, yeah, we took a lot off of that one. And we're just going to let everything else go. let the suckers go. We're gonna let all the branches go. Whoops. Bumping my white pine here. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. Amur Maple Carnage Can. So that'll wrap it up today. We got the forest up there, kind of cleaned up a little bit on the bottom and shortened the maple part of the forest, left the top of the birch alone. I want that to keep growing out and thicken up some of those new branches. And then we cleaned up the base of this a little bit. We're leaving 5 suckers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 suckers, and we cut every branch back to make this canopy really nice and majestic. And it looks really, really old. And we'll cut back some more of these stumps lower in the fall after we defoliate it. I think we'll do some fun artwork on this Amur maple. So 2 trees, forest and a clump. So a lot of trees, really. Short and sweet. Hey, thanks for joining me. Until the next one, take care of you, take care of your bonsai, and we'll catch you on the next one.